Hey everybody, Lady Cheryl here. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, I'm so glad you visited me today. I hope you will like something or learn something, or perhaps you'll get motivated and you will subscribe to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you an update on a pecan tree that I found, a little sapling. I'll show you how I started growing it. And I'm also going to show you how I took 3 little small fig tree saplings and took care of them and nurtured them, and I'm going to give you the results of what they look like today. And I'm going to show you some updates around the garden because it is 95 degrees outside.
As you can see from these thermometers, it is currently 96 degrees outside. That's why I'm inside in the cool. I look cute today because I'm just getting home from church and it's already hot outside.
And a lot of things won't survive.
I grow
something that I know will survive our really, really long, hot summers. And if you didn't know, I live in Mesquite, Texas. We have a long growing season. So I'm ahead of a lot of the content creators that you may be following. And that could be used to your advantage because all of the things that I've been showing you over the last few months, you can start implementing a lot of the things that I shared with you now that you guys are thawing out. Okay, let's get started.
I ordered these baby brown turkey fig trees from eBay. And you can see they were as skinny as toothpicks. And so I potted them up, as you can see here. I put them in a position where they can get dapple sunlight, because whenever you order plants in the mail, they have been in the darkness. Don't put them in direct sunlight. So I put them between these 2 hydroponic systems that I wasn't using at the time so that it can buffer them a little bit from the sunny exposure from that window that I'm pointing to. And I took care of these until I thought it was warm enough to put them outside. I rooted the 3 brown turkey fig trees inside my bedroom for about 4 to 5 months. And in February, I decided that they were strong enough that I could put them outside.
Dark out here, and I'm going to attempt to show you how I pot up this brown turkey fig tree. It's a little baby one. My helpers are going to church for a junior usher board meeting. So I'm going to pull this out because I did it already before I put the camera on. And then I'm going to break the roots up just a little. Just, squeeze them up because they were getting root bound in the container. And I knew it because I was having to give them some water every day. So I'm just going to massage and break it up just a little, because these fig trees will grow real fast. And then I'm going to make this hole just a little bit bigger. I'm just going to do it with my hand since I'm trying to film with the other hand. And sit it down in there real nice. And water it in. Whenever you are growing something in a container, you need to use potting mix because it has the right balance of perlite or vermiculite that will allow the pot to drain and not get waterlogged, because this could cause your trees or plants to have root rot. But I need to hurry up and get out of here because the mosquitoes are coming out. Yes, we have mosquitoes out in Garden Zone AA, Mesquite, Texas. Okay, I've got them all nestled in with the little domes on them and a little used straw. I like the straw because it doesn't break down as fast as the leaves. Yeah, because this is left over from the fall. Here are the 3 fig trees. It's remarkable. These 2 cuttings looked identical when I purchased them, and look at the difference. See how massively this one has grown? And this one stagnant, and this one, I don't know what it is. it looks so puny. But look real close. This is the, I guess you would call it the trunk of the tree. This was the twig that was rooting. And you can see it has similar leaves as this one, but it's real stunted. And from this cutting, look at this right here, is growing a much thicker branch, and it's different. I'm staking it up. I'm just gonna let it grow. If it turns out it's a different type of fig, I'll go ahead and keep it, but I really want to keep one of the brown turkey fig trees because my grandchildren that I live with, Brian and Bria, they love them. Bria, in fact, is the one that reminded me that we weren't growing them anymore. So I'll probably end up giving this one away to my son. I wanted to give both of them one, but if this is going to be a completely different variety, then I will just root him another one. But I'm going to go close in here so you can see it again. This is the cutting right here. See? All through here. And then this branched out. It was not grafted to anything. It's a separate branch. The cuttings were skinnier than this. I think it's just a different type of fig. Sometimes you don't get what you paid for. I'm working on my strawberry bed today. And what I'm doing is pulling out a few weeds and harvesting a few strawberries. And I just want to show you these. They really never make it into the house because I just wash them off and eat them out here. But I want to point something out to you. Any of the strawberries that you see growing here that are very tiny, I think I moved too fast. They are from the strawberries that I propagated last year. So the first year or two, the berries will be small, like so, and then they'll get bigger and bigger. Just a little gardening tip. One more thing I want to share with you. I companion plant with society garlic, like right there, and onions. And every few weeks, I cut the tops off of them because I have too many to try to, save them. And I put the scrap pieces of the onions down in the garden beds, like you see here, as mulch. And you see how these leaves are curling? It's happening because of two reasons. One, too much rain, and it was 97 degrees yesterday, so they're getting a little scorched. Now we're going to have temperatures a little lower. You can see the more mature plants are handling the heat a little better. But as I was starting to say, we're going to have a couple of days of 97 degree temperatures, and it's going to cool off. And I'm going to take that opportunity to get some little shade cloth over my garden, and I'll share that with you in a future video. I got these 7 feet bamboo sticks. They're real thick. They're 3/4 of an inch in diameter. I bought them off of TikTok. I'm glad I got them because they are much sturdier, and I'm gonna show you why I need them. Let me walk over here to a tomato plant. You see this 100 sweet tomato plant that I got on sale for $1 at Lowe's? And I put this plant inside of this raised garden bed. This was the garden bed that I only spent $7 on. I bought this Roma tomato plant for $1 also, and you can see I'm getting tomatoes on it. There's another one, I think, right down there, right to me. And I companion planted with $1 marigolds I found on sale at the same time. And I put some basil in here. But you see how this plant is leaning? It's loaded with tomatoes, okay? But I'm gonna trim up the leaves, and I'm going to replace those 2 weak bamboo stakes with this real sturdy one. I am finished with this area, and it might look strange where I left a lot of these leaves. I trimmed them off because it is going to be another 97 degree temperature. Flowers do not bloom on tomato plants in that heat, usually about 85 degrees or higher. So remember, this was $1 plant and a dollar plant over there, and I'm gonna get all the tomatoes that I can get before it gets too hot, and then I'm gonna take these plants out. I don't hold on to plants for the fall. I start new ones. I used a little of my crochet yarn to tie this up a little bit better because it was raining so much, and I didn't want these tomatoes to start touching the ground unnecessarily. Because I cut off a lot of branches, I'm gonna spray a little garlic oil. It's just a little essential oil with water, where it's not labeled, garlic and H2O. Garlic oil, just to deter some pests like hornworms. Because it's too hot for me to put some insect killing soap on here right now, that even though it's organic, it's too hot, because even though it's cool right now, like I said earlier, it's going to be 97 degrees today. So I'm hoping that these flowers right here mature, and these, see, this how it starts off. If you're a new gardener, it'll produce a bloom, a little pollination from shaking it. In my case, I never have to hand pollinate tomatoes because the wind is so high here in North Texas. Last week, or week before last, it was 20 miles an hour. And as I was saying, then the flower turns into a tomato, and you can see the nice shape of that roma, and then it'll turn into this stage right here, and this stage, and it'll get bigger and bigger, and then it'll ripen. I hope I taught you something. Now remember these plants were leaning all the way over here, and you can see damage where it wasn't getting any air, right? And now look at the space. It's a nice flow of air in here. Now it's time for me to trim this plant, or all of these plants in here, excessively. And you can look down there and see we've got tomatoes, but you can't hardly see them. So I'm gonna clear a lot of this out. Mine, there's a tomato right there, that I plant very densely in these garden beds because they're 2 feet high and they can accommodate a lot of roots. And I have a small space garden, so I gotta start thinking like a small space gardener. I'm trying to get as much as I can get in this small space. I am so happy to be able to get in here and clean all of this area out like I'm doing right here, because this tomato was on the ground, and I'm gonna go close so you can see why you shouldn't have anything touching the ground. You see that little worm? I think it'll turn into a cutworm, but it came out of the soil, and so I got to get rid of this. So this is why you have to constantly make sure you're getting airflow and your tomatoes off of the ground. Guys, this is what I call my number 2 extra large garden bed, and you can see I cleaned up all through here. And I've been telling you guys that I have tomatoes, but it was just so congested you couldn't really see them. You don't get large harvests with these heirloom tomatoes that I planted. This one is the giant green tomato. It will never turn red, it'll be green. I went over my 30 minutes today, so I'm going to stop and just clean up, and I'll start back tomorrow.
Bria and I love to capture the butterflies in the garden.
You see it? No, on the orange. Oh, okay. Last week I shared my eggplant flowers with you, and I told you in a few days we'll get eggplants. And look here, we've got eggplants all over these 3 plants. Black Beauty eggplant started from seeds, and I think it's another one right here, and more blooms. And the good thing about it is they are heat tolerant, so we can grow these in Garden Zone 8A, Mesquite, Texas, all summer and fall long. This is a pecan sapling. Obviously a squirrel hid it in this rose bush that I'm giving my son. And I'm not sure if this is mycorrhizal fungi or some other type of fungus. So I'm going to treat it and then I'm going to pot it up. I actually think it is a natural beneficial fungus like mycorrhizal, but I did have powdery mildew in my garden, so I treated it just in case it wasn't a good healthy fungus. This is the fungicide that I keep on hand. You can purchase it at Amazon, and it will kill a lot of different type of fungus, including the white powdery mildew. So to be on the safe side, I'm going to treat this little sapling, see the roots, and I'm going to pot it up today. So this is what it looks like after I sprayed the fungicide. And I've done this before, guys, and it grew a beautiful tall tree that was at the fruit bearing stage when I sold my house in Food Forest. So this is a blessing that a squirrel left, and I'm going to take advantage of it. In this pot that has a lot of drainage holes, I put some leaf and straw mulch at the bottom so that the soil, the potty mix that I'm going to add to it won't, easily move or escape from the bottom. So this is new potty mix. I had my son the other day to put it in this container so it'll be easy for me to shovel. Working smart. When you get my age, 71, you'll learn to do things a little smarter so it won't be so hard and taxing on your body. And now I'm going to put my little sapling in, like so. Get those roots way down in there. And then I'm going to fill it up. And this is going to be a nice tree. I actually found 2 additional saplings. The squirrels hid pecans in my containers. If you didn't know, they will often hide food so that when food is scarce, they'll have something to eat. Right here, you can see the discoloration, the dampness. This is how high the soil was in the container where I found it. So now I'm going to keep filling up this pot until I go up to that soil line. Okay, everybody, I've done this before. So I'm going to have fun watching this tree grow and make good progress. My baby pecan tree lost almost all of its leaves except for the ones around, the larger ones are dark green around the perimeter, and you can see all of the leaves I'm pointing at, they are new. Pecan trees have real long tap roots. In order for this tree to survive, it will have to go into the ground. And I pray that my children and grandchildren will always remember that I planted this tree and grew it from a very tiny twig. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope that you will share it with your friends. If you know anybody that needs to be motivated by a soon-to-be 72-year-old grandmother that has over 40 years experience gardening, organic gardening that is, share my video. And I always tell you guys when I close, you know that I love you and God loves you too. Bye now.